Hi, good afternoon. A warm welcome to you. It's Jim from Avstar Observatory. Guys, let me tell you something. The CO2 levels on this chart don't mean diddly squat to us. What's more important is the temperature chart and where we are at this point in that 100-year cycle that you can see going back to 450,000 years. Because we are about to go back into a glacial period, and that could be accelerated by the magnetic North Pole and South Pole on our planet migrating. These are historical events that are happening right now and our very day. You know, people say to me, why do you keep showing the map? Why do you keep showing the same chart? Because if you really knew what you was looking at, you'd probably shit your pants. I'm not joking. What we're looking at could well turn out to be an extinction level event for humankind. I'm not joking. You know, we've got 8 billion souls on this planet, heavily reliant on the modern agricultural production of food. And when most of the Earth's territory goes offline, and we're watching it go offline by the day now, but when it goes offline to the point where it threatens, you know, the ability for human beings to maintain the levels of numbers of human beings on this planet right now, then we're looking at something entirely different. It's a new species of difference. I can't bring that home enough to you guys that are watching this right now, because you can clearly see the logic in front of your eyes. You know what comes next. We are at the end of an interglacial cycle, and already possibly 4,000 to 6,000 years into the next glacial cycle, and we're just waiting for that thermocline. You get thermoclines in a lot of different things. We're just waiting for this one, because things rapidly start to cool off, and the geomagnetic reversal could trigger an even faster response to this 100,000 year cycle that we're looking at right now. I'm telling you now, CO2 is irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant. Temperature is everything. If we were further away from our sun, everything would be frozen and locked up in ice. If we were closer to our sun, everything would be gas. But we are not out of trouble, being even in the Goldilocks zone, as it's called, where things are just right to have liquid water on our planet. Because you can see that black line that goes all the way along this chart, and that's the difference between liquid water and frozen water. That's the difference between permafrost in the ground, where the ground freezes to a certain depth or is able to be sustaining root growth, which is what our crops that we rely on needs. You can't grow in 2 foot, 1 meter of permafrost. The ground is locked solid. Roots cannot penetrate through it and survive. That's the bottom line. Let me show you another chart which shows the exact same thing. You know, we're talking about interglacial and glacial periods being accelerated by, 2 other anomalies. This is not the worst of what we're looking at. We've also got these 2 things to deal with. This is the grand solar minimum. You can see exactly what's happening to solar activity at this point in time. What this does is deflates the heliosphere that protects our solar system, and that in turn allows more cosmic rays in. When we have a active and productive sun in terms of sunspot numbers, the heliosphere expands and should expand beyond our solar system, pushing away that galactic and intergalactic radiation, which we call cosmic rays. It is radiation. Every day, every hour, we are bombarded with this. You might recall the very old-fashioned TVs that you had to hand crank the dial round, but in between stations, you had that static. Well, what that static is picking up, your aerial is actually picking up the cosmic rays that are inbound, and all that hissing noise and that little speckles all over your screen was a video representation of that cosmic rays. We've got a weakened magnetosphere because of the pole reversing on our planet, and we've got a weakened heliosphere, so our primary and our secondary protective fields that we enjoy normally are at an all-time low. You're 25% more likely to get cancer as a result of just being at this point in time. You're 25% more likely to have cardiac arrhythmia, failure, because of cosmic rays being directly linked to arrhythmia. The geomagnetic poles on our planet are reversing, and this is proof of it. For the first time in 120 years, they have upped their anchors and started to migrate. We've hit 40-degree mark, and things could rapidly change from this point on out, and we're monitoring this every single 3 seconds of the 24 hours that are in a day, the 7 days that are in a week, and 365 days of that year. You can go over to poleshiftnews.com and find out twice a month now the updated TriMag data on these poles reversing. Nothing what I've showed you in this video is fiction. This is fact. So take a look once again at where we are. Have a look at where we are right now on this timeline, where it states present global warming. Because for the first time in around 12,000 years, we are going back through the cycle. We know what happens next. So I put it to you, it's not even a case of worrying about that minuscule amount of CO2 in the atmosphere, because really speaking, we should be putting more in there. We should be giving, the biodiversity of species of plant life on this planet, a chance. Because CO2 is plant food. And you know it as well as I do that major producers of most of our salad packs and things like that we enjoy, tomatoes, lettuce, cucumbers and that, if they're running things on a commercial scale, they're pumping CO2 up to the levels of about 1200 parts per million in those greenhouses, because they know it accelerates the growth rate. What these stupid people that we've got running our world are more concerned about is putting money in their wallets. But at the same time they're doing that, they're trying to reduce CO2 in our atmosphere, which could critically wipe out plant life on this earth as a result of their actions. While you're listening to me right now, I know that you're in an environment, if you're in a reasonable sized room on your own, the CO2 levels are around about 900 to 1,000 parts per million right now, as you're listening to me. You're not dizzy, you're not losing cognitive thought patterns, you've got your abilities all about you. It affects you 0%. Why would we be so concerned about such a trace gas like CO2 at this point in time when we are merging back into a glacial period? Why would we be concerned about something that's irrelevant? Why would we be wasting our time, our effort, and trillions and trillions and trillions of pounds on something that is not worth 2 blinks of an eye? Temperature is everything. And I've showed you, and other scientists that come out and talk about this, they are rare, have showed you that we have something more on the horizon to worry about. Something which is gonna absolutely change the dynamics of our planet. And yet it doesn't hit the mainstream media. And these scientists in these organisations don't talk about this fact. Why the hell is that the case? Why are they not giving people the opportunity to, at least when these things seriously affect their lives, have that buffer, that parachute, so that the landing is much softer? This is going to get completely out of hand. You're in on it early, trust me. If you've just subscribed or you've been following what we do here at the observatory, you are in really early right now. Because when this starts to really take effect, oh boy, I can't even imagine. Beyond my wildest dreams, I cannot even imagine how people and the masses will respond. You, right now, have options. They most certainly won't. And they are keeping us silent. And they are cutting every opportunity we have to make some progression here. They won't allow us advert revenue on YouTube. Even my own website, which I pay the server money for, removes images that I put up on there. We are being targeted left, right and centre. And still 99% of the world's population are unaware of this. Can you believe that? You've stumbled on this channel just by mere luck, or maybe, God's grace. You can see where we are on this chart on the right hand side. You know full well what comes next. Are you prepared? Let me tell you, just the real estate alone, property prices, when this gets out, will plummet. They won't be worth a coin. No one's going to give you money for a property in the hot zone, or no pun intended, in the cold zone. Have a look at this next image. If the governments of the world had have instead not used CO2 as such a crucial manner in which to earn money, they could have done it legitimately with this, using the returning of the next glacial period. They could have made trillions doing that. And that's how you know that these people are wicked and evil and have no conscience whatsoever about what they are doing, and just letting people like lemmings fall off the cliff with no knowledge of what is happening to our earth, really. And this isn't rocket scientists, guys. You don't need to be a scientist to understand what I've showed you in this video alone. It is the facts. That's what you needed to act. You got them. You're 1% of this world's population that in the knowledge of this, what's taking place right now, and clearly they are not talking about it for a specific reason. I'm sure you can use your imagination why that is. I want to give people, a fair crack of the whip. I don't want people to wake up one day and find that whatever they've worked for their entire life has been for nothing and has been wiped away. I don't want them people to wake up and realise they've lost loved ones, because people's lives are on the line. 100%. If you think that this hasn't already killed people, and trust me, it has. The climate has definitely changed on our planet, and that's largely due to the cosmic rays that are inbound right now, and that is increasing by the day. And we are merging back into a glacial period. I've showed you the Arctic ice has rebounded year in, year out for the last 10 years. So Al Gore, you can go and fuck off. Stick that Nobel Prize up your arsehole. Because we will have polar bears for a lot longer than what you said. Children will enjoy snow more than they want. They'll get fed up with seeing the damn sight of it. Trust me, everything that Al Gore said will be 180 degrees. You can do your thing here, guys. This is the opportunity you have. I've invested a decade of this, trying to warn people, bring their attention to the real science that's taking place with our Earth, the real genuine anomalies that affect us. 10 years I've spent doing this, and trust me, I must have thick skin now, because I've copped some flack over these years, and I would have lost every single job I could have had because I've been outspoken on these topics. It's cost me lots, more than I will even mention, but trust me, this has cost a lot to get this information to you. You need to do the right thing when presented with logic and evidence and facts, things that you cannot deny. You need to do the right thing and not squander the time I've taken to show you and bring these things to your attention. You need to act on them. You need to sit down with your family and your loved ones, and you need to, first of all, you need to come to the conclusion that what I've presented is not fiction and it is fact, and then you need to prepare for what's coming. You will be better off, even small as whatever preparations you might take, you will be better off even just making the small things. Well, it's Saturday, guys. I'm going to leave you to it. There's a link down there. I can't emphasize more than I ever have done, and in previous videos, the importance of supporting an observatory like ours, because if you like truth, then it shouldn't be something that you even have to consider. You should want to support what we do. We're genuinely trying to help people and save them from the worstest nightmares that they could possibly ever experience in their life. If you're interested in being part of that, there's an opportunity where you can participate. The link is down there in the description, guys. And big thanks to those that have already made the decision not to be just bystanders, but become proactive and support. Huge thanks to you guys. And with that, I'll say what I usually do. You take care of your loved ones. As always, bye for now.